Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Broku, and welcome back to another Dragon Ball video. And welcome back to What If Week, where every single day of this week, I'm uploading a What If video. And this is part 4, What If Bardock was wished back to life? So, this is the third part. If you've not seen the other parts, then I highly suggest you go watch them. A link to part 1 will be in the top on the card in the top right, or the other two parts will be linked down below. Also, if you do want a summary, I will give you one, but if you don't need one, here's a timestamp so you can just skip ahead. But anyways, guys, like, subscribe, and follow me on Twitter, and let's get into the summary. So basically, in the last part, Beerus would come, and Bardock eventually got the Super Saiyan God form, because not only was he a full Saiyan, but he seemed to have the most pure heart, and he had the gift of foresight. And it kind of went the same. He went Super Saiyan God, infused it, still lost to Beerus, but still Beerus saved Earth, or just didn't destroy it. And then Bardock and Vegeta would eventually actually train with Whis. Not Gohan, though. He stayed back on Earth. And Bardock and Vegeta would both get Super Saiyan Blue, basically master the Super Saiyan God form and get that, and then get much stronger. But Bardock actually also trained with Whis and the Oracle to sort of master his gift of foresight. So not only could he look further into the future and be more accurate with it, but he could also use it as a combat ability so that he could use it to predict people's attacks. And so this made him much stronger, and he eventually got his rematch against Frieza, and he absolutely destroyed him. And now this is where we get into this part now. So basically during this, Champa still went and collected the Dragon Balls, or the Super Dragon Balls, if that's what you want to call them, because that's what they are. So the tournament still ends up happening, the Universe 6 tournament. And the difference here is that Goku's not going to be a part of it. Universe 6 still keeps the same team in the same order. It's going to switch up the order for Universe 7. So for the Universe 7 order, it's going to go Gohan, Piccolo, Vegeta, Bardock, and Monaka, who we know Monaka is just a fake, he's a phony. So in the beginning, it goes kind of the same. Gohan beats Batamo, and Gohan loses to a cheating Frost, and Piccolo loses to a cheating Frost, but then is actually called out by Jacko that Frost was actually cheating. He had his little needle in his hand, and interesting thing is that Bardock was basically predicting all of these fights. He was like, oh, Gohan's gonna win, Gohan's gonna lose, Piccolo's gonna lose. He was calling it before the fight was even starting, and he was right every time, and Beerus was like shocked with it. Vegeta goes in, and he's like, okay, Bardock's like, okay, Vegeta's gonna win. Vegeta goes Super Saiyan, and he completely destroys Frost just like he did. And this Vegeta is actually stronger than the one that was in Super. Vegeta then also defeats Vegeta and Cabba as well, and he still does show Cabba Super Saiyan. And of course, Bardock actually predicted all of these fights as well, and Beerus was extremely impressed, so was Whis, and so was all the other fighters. Now Vegeta faces off against Hit now. Beerus asks Bardock what the outcome's going to be, and Bardock explains to Beerus that he can't tell. He says Vegeta's very tired, and that's probably messing with what his foresight is giving him. And Hit has seen him fighting. Just seconds after Vegeta goes Super Saiyan Blue and engages Hit, Bardock says that he sees Vegeta winning the fight. And Beerus, of course, gets all happy about it. Then, in an instant, his foresight switches to Hit winning, after Vegeta gets his attack blocked and Hit counters it with a hard counter. Bardock is shocked, and everybody is shocked, and it keeps happening again and again. Bardock thinks that Vegeta's attack is going to hit, and it's gonna hurt Hit, and it's gonna maybe knock him off the ring, or weaken him, or defeat him, and Bardock keeps seeing it. And then in an instant, it switches to Hit countering it. So Bardock has seen this fight in the future. He's seen Hit go move for move, and then all of a sudden, in an instant, it changes it. And we all know what this is. This is a time skip that Hit is using, and it's actually manipulating Bardock's foresight, because he sees it, and then since Hit stops time, it's gonna change it. This happens again and again, and of course, Vegeta gets knocked out. And Jocko actually is told by the Galactic King that this is a time skip, so Bardock has learned of this and is knowledgeable of it going into the fight. Not only does he have his own gift of foresight to sort of battle time skip, but he knows what Hit is doing. So Bardock finally faced off against Hit, and this would be a really cool match to see. You know, Bardock just as a badass, and him being Super Saiyan Blue against Hit, the assassin. There's a very cool techniques, and Hit's just an awesome character. Again, I wish he did not get knocked out so early in the Tournament of Power, but so be it. So Bardock, as a Super Saiyan Blue, he keeps seeing his hits landing before he punches it, and then it just switches in an instant because of Hit's time skip, and then Hit would counter it. And the fight would go on and on and on. And Bardock then realized he needed to do the opposite of what his foresight was basically telling him to do. So basically his foresight was telling him to do this punch because hit would be there to not block it or something like that, but then hit would use his time skip and then block it. So Bardock would just do the opposite or something very different from what his foresight told him to do, and then he would actually be able to break Hit's counters and break Hit's time skip and be able to land hits on him. Remember, this Bardock is much stronger than even a Kaioken times 10 Super Saiyan Blue Goku, as this Bardock was many times stronger than Goku when Goku first went Super Saiyan God, and then he immediately trained with Vegeta following the Battle of the Gods. And also, they spent 3 years in the time chamber together because they wanted to prepare for this tournament, so they're both just extremely strong, and Bardock is much stronger, at least several times stronger than Kaioken times 10 Goku, and this Bardock does not have Kaioken though, so he cannot stack that upon himself, but he's still stronger. And Bardock eventually defeats Hit, and Bardock would not care if Hit was holding back his assassination techniques. Bardock is different from Goku. He's not gonna be like, oh no, my opponent can't use all of his attacks against me. I better step out of the ring and risk my planet. No. Bardock defeats Hit. And then we don't get to see Monaka go out there. We don't get to see Hit knock himself out so that the Universe 7 team wins. And then we also don't get a relationship between Hit and Goku starting, because Bardock would not be nearly as interesting as Goku was in Hit's eyes. Bardock would just be like any other regular super strong fighter. Of course, Hit still got a lot stronger over this and adapted his time skip to become much better. Beerus still makes the same wish, but it still doesn't really change much. The outcome of this is actually not too much until you get to the point where when Zeno arrives, Goku isn't there. This means that something's not going to happen in the future that you guys can probably guess now. And I'm going to say no Black Arc. First off, I've done that too much and I don't really want to keep doing it. And also because I think Goku not being there, that could really change things. I know this contradicts all my previous what ifs where Goku's not there or it's very different, but still Zamasu becomes Goku Black, or somebody else becomes a black character and it's Zamasu who's really them. But I believe things could switch up enough just because Goku's not there and it's Bardock instead. Also, those what ifs are less accurate. Sometimes I just stretched it so that somebody could become insert character here Black with Zamasu controlling him. So since there's no Goku Black Saga, there is no future Trunks or Super Saiyan Rage or the Spirit Sword and all that. But we get Goku training with Super Saiyan Gods, and keep in mind he had found these Saiyans not long after Battle of the Gods, so he had been training with them for years now. Goku had unlocked Super Saiyan God, God Ki, and even achieved Super Saiyan Blue himself, and has been just non-stop training. And because of no Goku, Goku never suggests Zeno the Tournament of Power, so we don't get the Tournament of Power, and we don't get the exhibition matches. Zeno would not think of it on his own. It was Goku basically told him. Zeno was going to race the universes anyways. So eventually Bardock, after extensive training with Whis, he achieves the mastery of self-movement and achieves Ultra Instinct, and he masters it. He actually is a master of it. And eventually Bardock's going to take the place of Beerus as a god of destruction for the universe. So likely what would happen from here is that Bardock would be a much better god, give Universe 7 a much higher mortal level because he'd actually directly work with Supreme Kai, and he would help planets and destroy bad guys when they need to be destroyed, which would equal a higher mortal level. And this can maybe even prevent Universe 7's erasure, but you know what? Zeno could literally wait like a shit ton of time to erase the universes, as he's at his point of being a god. A year to him would be like a second. So it could be that he was planning to erase these universes many years down the line, so we could be many years down the line and have our main characters still alive because Zeno didn't want to erase the universes yet because he takes things slow. He's a god. And I'm going to say that we have Bardock meet Universe 11's God of Destruction, Toppo. And Toppo tells him that he has a warrior even stronger than him, and he claims that this warrior to be stronger than the gods. And Bardock scoffs, and in comes Jiren. So anyways guys, that's going to be the end of this part. I hope you guys did enjoy. Please leave a like if you did enjoy. Comment down below saying what you think is going to happen. What do you think is going to happen with Goku actually training with these Gods of Destruction? Now, I've been building it up a bit, but what do you think is actually going to happen? He's doing it for a reason. But anyways guys, subscribe if you're new, turn on notifications if you want to see more of my videos, and also follow me on Twitter and join my Discord. Those will be linked down in the description below. Also, thank you guys to all my Patreon supporters, Daraj, Peyton, Zach Trotaku, and the awesome guy who only supports Broku on Patreon, and also my Super Saiyan 2s, Israel Flores, Mystic Ghoul, Darius, and Badass Thug. Thank you guys so much. You guys are amazing. Like I said before, I'm trying to get 100 Patreon supporters as soon as possible because I want to hire an animator for my What If videos. Now imagine if I had in these fights an animated version of Super Saiyan Blue Goku versus Hit. Wouldn't that have been amazing? So if you guys want to see that happen, want other parts of my What Ifs animated, then become a Patreon supporter if you can. If you have some extra change, feel free to do so. But if you don't, just continue supporting my channel the way you do. That is more than enough, and I very much appreciate it. Hope you guys have an amazing day. Peace out.